All right, guys, what's going on? This is Josh. Before I start this video, like I said in the last video, I'm going to pick somebody from the comments and they're going to get 25 bucks or $20. I don't know what I said, but either way, if you guys want another chance, this video applies as well. Drop a comment below, ask a question, anything related to the video request, whatever it may be, and we will do the same. So let's pick our winner. We got 17 people. Our winner is Russell Mueller, the man, the myth, the legend. So this guy has commented a ton already. So Russell, congrats. Reach out to me on Instagram, send me an email, get me your PayPal details, and I will send you that money. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you have any questions regarding real estate, again, put them below. You'll have a chance to win, and I'll know what you guys want me to talk about since we've been going over this a lot in the live streams. Love you guys. All right, what's going on, guys? So tell me what you guys think about this view. I'm sitting here charging my Tesla. I got my Brazil shorts. I don't know if they're in the World Cup, but go Brazil. But what I wanted to talk about, I got bored sitting here, so I made a little, this is my whiteboard. Maybe give me some ideas of how I could use this better. Excuse the poor handwriting. But what I wanted to talk about is what to do when you have, or I guess the problems you could have with bad rental properties, and how you could hurt either an income property you have, an extra property you have, or anything. And now some of you might not have properties at this point, but I know some of you are looking to get rentals, or some of you already have them in other places. And I have a few rental properties. They're great. So I'm sharing you some of the problems I've had, and even helping homeowners. We've purchased a lot of poor rentals from people, and we've just taken the problem off their hands. These are the problems that you face the most. And I guess the number one thing, this is obviously, it sounds so obvious, but they don't pay rent. Now, why I'm bringing this up, and it's number one, obviously it's the most important. If you have a mortgage on the property you need to pay, it could hurt you, and you could end up, that's where we see a lot of people foreclose, because they have a mortgage on the property, the rental's covering it. The latest situation I dealt with, this guy was looking to sell the property, listed the property for sale, and his agent told him, just stop paying the mortgage on it, you're gonna sell it anyways, yada yada yada. But then the renter stopped paying, took a while to sell, and now he's in foreclosure. And again, why I'm bringing this up, because it's a huge issue, and usually it doesn't happen fast, and there's many ways where they don't pay money could come in. There's two parts: either they're lowlifes and you didn't screen them properly, bad credit, awful neighborhood, or usually you just missed all the red flags. And that's why we'll talk about property managers, why you'll need them at sometimes, and also sometimes how they could hurt you. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to make sure you're on it. And people underestimate how much not paying the rent, or a renter, skipping out on rent, how much that could actually affect their home, and how much it's going to cost them. It's not just the money you miss out on rent. Let's say you even have it paid off free and clear, but now if they've been there for more than 30 days and now you want to be able to kick them out, a formal eviction process could cost anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000, and you don't know what people will do in that case and how it's going to play out. But it costs a lot of money, and that was the issue we even had with some people, was that they couldn't even afford the cost after being behind on the mortgage, not getting certain amount of payments, all that. They ended up just having to foreclose the property, which was very, very unfortunate. So that's one thing that could happen. And again, if you guys ever have these issues, if you're dealing with this, feel free to holler at me. I'll let you guys know my course of action with it and what you can do. And you got to be very careful, because it's however you treat the renters. Even if you sell it, even now for you investors, if you buy a property and it has renters in it who didn't pay, you have to be very, very cautious on how you treat them. And are you implying a lease? What is it? It's very, very strict. So make sure you go over your lease agreement that you have with the renters and just fully understand it and how you can enforce it. Now, the next aspect is, one, you could just have a rental property. Let's say they're paying good rent, everything's on time. They could just fuck it up and destroy it. they could, you know, and my parents had a rental property. This was back when I was really young. They had a college town property, and it was rented by SDSU, and these college kids destroyed it. $30,000-$40,000 of damage. My parents tried to sue. They only got like 5,000 or 10,000 out of them, and the judge said even though they destroyed all that stuff, they said it's my parents' fault for renting it to these kids, and you should know what to expect. So be careful with who you rent it to. Try make sure you're monitoring it in some sort. Be careful of animals, pets, stuff like that. But usually you got to make sure how it could hurt you and the value of your properties. If they do awful damage, shit to the yard, they shit to the plumbing, anything like that, and they're just not maintaining it properly, that's where you can get hurt. So that's one aspect of them just hurting the property itself, destroying it. But now going back to not paying, if you go and evict them, they might, a lot of times people destroy the property. I've seen people burn properties down before they left, and you might even say, well, yeah, well, can I sue the person? Well, think about it. If the person's not paying rent to begin with and all sorts of stuff, they probably don't care to destroy it, and it's probably going to be very hard and, again, costly with legal expenses to recoup that. And again, too, if you all ever do notice a renter and you just want them out, there is something called cash for keys, CFK. It's a formal legal contract with realtors, associations, all that. And you can just say, hey, we want to avoid this. We'll pay you $2,000 to just get out of the property, $5,000. It all just depends on what it is. So that's one thing that where the renters could get in the way and how it could hurt your property. The next thing is they make it hard to sell. Not, again, for these other two reasons. They destroy the property, they're not paying, but now if you try to sell it while they're in there, they're gonna not make it available to show. You have to give 24 hours. Even then, they'll talk. They'll let the buyers know, oh, we don't plan to leave. Though it's kind of like a movie, that some of the shit they do to make it where they don't want to leave and stuff. And they'll tell people, oh, we're not leaving. We plan on staying here forever, etc., etc. So there's all sorts of things with it. But now the last part, again, and that's really the only times where they make it hard to sell, that or the condition of the property, or just them being in it making it difficult to show. And even then, some, like we said, even if they throw you into a foreclosure, if you have a bad financial situation prior, that could hurt you as well too. But now the last part is property managers. So this is an important one because you need to have property managers sometimes, and they help tremendously. But now a problem you could face with your rental is property managers themselves. If you get a property manager who's not attentive, isn't giving you updates, they're too busy, and they're not focusing on the tenants and what you need, and if you're out of state or anything like that, that could usually be the nightmare. I should underline this a lot because that is where most of the problems happen. I've seen, because as people from out of states, we end up buying their homes because the property manager wasn't doing this, that wasn't doing that. The property manager is the one who picked the tenant. The property manager is the one who's just letting them do this, and the property managers roll over very easy, and they just want their money. And then even then, I even forgot another thing of why people won't pay rent is if they'll try to finesse the system and destroy the property, make it bad so that they could withhold rent legally and do stuff like that. So be cautious of that. But in general, these property managers are usually, they really don't care a lot of the time, unless you know them. Make sure you build up a good relationship and go over that, but really screen your property manager and make sure you kind of have them on a tight leash and make sure they're getting your stuff done. But these are all the stuff that has to do with rental properties, how it could kind of affect you, some of, you know, how a bad renter could affect your homeowner, and what to do to deal with them now is go to evict them as soon as possible if you can. Offer them cash for keys, or sell the property to an investor. You know, I'm here, I'll help you. I can help you, either I could purchase it or I could find somewhere else. But most of the time, these two options, not destroy it, but selling your property or evicting them, I thought I had that written down, are going to be your best bet. There is ways to do it cost effective. It's just all going to depend on the lease you have and the reason why they stopped paying rent, what you could prove, and how you've documented it. And that's another thing too. If you ever get into a lease, make sure you get it in writing, and make sure you don't ever have to deal with people not on a lease but who've been living there, because unless you know, you really have a good relationship, but you never know, but they could just be dicks about it. So hopefully that helps. If you guys have those issues with your rentals, I really apologize. And this is something to watch out for you guys trying to get into rentals. This is the due diligence you need to do to make sure your couple extra $100 a month or 10%, 20% in equity doesn't get thrown away because of bad renters or a poor situation like this. So let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, like, comment below, give me some more questions of stuff you want me to cover, and let me know how you like this setup, if we should do more videos like this. Love y'all, stay in school.